Everyone, I'm Yusra Sports and today we are here with another episode of Yusra Speaks. Today we are exploring a fascinating topic with AI. Wow, the origin of expressions of amazement. The word wow is one of the most common expressions used around the world. We see it when we are surprised, impressed, inspired, or amazed. But have you ever wondered where this simple word comes from? How it became so popular and why people from different cultures express amazement is in different ways. In today's conversation with AI, we'll discover the history, psychology, and culture significance behind expressions of amazement, while learning how a single word can communicate powerful emotions across language and generations. So let's begin our exciting discussion with AI. My first question is, what does the word wow actually mean and what emotion does it express?
The word wow is an exclamation that expresses surprise, amazement, or admiration. It's what people say when something exceeds their expectations, like seeing a beautiful view or hearing surprising news. It's emotional, spontaneous, and usually positive.
Interesting. My second question is, where did the expression wow originate and how has its meaning changed over time?
Checking. That's a great question. Wow likely entered English in the late 1800s, first recorded around the 1890s as a natural exclamation of surprise. Over time, it broadened beyond just shock to include admiration, excitement, or delight. Today, it's global, recognized even by non English speakers. So, it evolved from a spontaneous utterance to a universal symbol of wonder.
I loved your answer. My third question is, why do humans naturally react with expressions like wow and when they experience something surprising or extraordinary?
Hmm, one sec. Great follow up. We react with wow because our brains are wired to notice novelty and signal curiosity. It's a quick emotional release that says, this matters, pay attention. It also connects us socially. Sharing amazement with others strengthens conversation and bonding.
I loved your answer. My fourth question is, do all cultures have their own version of saying wow? And how do these expressions differ around the world?
Check. That's an excellent question. Yes, every culture has a version of amazement expressions. They differ in words and tone, but serve the same purpose. For example, in Spanish, guau or vaya. In French, wow, or sometimes oh la la. In Arabic, subhanallah, often said in wonder. In Japanese, sugo, meaning amazing. The emotions are universal, but cultural norms shape how openly people exclaim. Some are more exuberant, others more restrained. But the core feeling of wonder is shared.
Okay, my fifth question is, what role does the brain play when we experience amazement or wonder?
Checking. Thoughtful question. The brain detects something unexpected and activates networks tied to attention, emotion, and reward. Regions like the amygdala and prefrontal cortex help tag that moment as meaningful, boosting memory and curiosity. That pleasurable sense of wow can motivate exploration, learning, and creativity.
Okay, my next question is, how has social media influenced the way people use expressions like wow in everyday communication?
Becky, interesting question. Social media has amplified wow. making it faster, global, and more visually expressive with emojis and exclamation marks. It also crosses language barriers since many non English speakers now use wow online. But context matters. Without tone of voice, people sometimes misunderstand the emotion behind it. So, some add extra words or emojis to clarify feeling.
Interesting. My next question is, can expressing amazement positively affect our relationships and conversation with others? If so, how?
Checking. Yes, expressing genuine amazement can strengthen relationships. When people see that your wow is genuine, it builds trust, shows appreciation, and keeps conversations vibrant. It encourages storytelling, connection, and mutual encouragement as long as it's sincere.
I loved your answer. My next question is, why is the feeling of wonder considered important for creativity, learning, and personal growth?
Checking. Wonderful question. Wonder fuels curiosity, keeps minds open, and pushes us to ask questions. It's the spark behind creativity because it motivates exploration beyond the ordinary. For learning, being fascinated helps us remember more and dig deeper. And for personal growth, it keeps us open minded and inspired. In short, wonder is the emotional engine that drives curiosity forward.
Interesting. My next question is, are there situations where saying wow may not be appropriate, and what alternatives can we use instead?
Checking. In formal or sensitive contexts like serious discussions or formal meetings, wow can seem too casual. Alternatives depend on the situation. For surprise, try I didn't expect that, or that's surprising. For admiration, that's impressive, or that's remarkable. If someone's sharing difficult news, respond with I'm sorry to hear that, rather than wow. Matching words to emotions shows empathy and respect.
Wonderful. My last question is, what is the biggest lesson we can learn from the history and the evolution of expression of amazement like wow?
Mm, thank you. That's a thoughtful one. The biggest lesson is that language evolves, but human emotion stays universal. Simple words like wow remind us that wonder connects people across cultures, fuels creativity, and keeps us curious.
So this is was our thought in it why it talk with AI. What an interesting journey into one of the world's most familiar expressions. Today we discovered that a simple word like wow carries much more meaning than we often realize. It reflects surprise, admiration, curiosity, and the human ability to appreciate extraordinary moments. Understanding the history and purpose of expression like wow reminds us that language is constantly evolving, shaped by culture, emotions, and human experiences. Sometimes a single word is enough to express feelings that are difficult to put into sentences. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Yusra Speaks. I hope today's discussion inspired you to look at everyday word from a whole new perspective. If you joined this conversation, don't forget to like, share, and follow my channel for more engaging talks with AI. Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and never lose your sense of wonder. Thank you. See you in my next episode.